If you've ever bought a new car, you'll know that the value plummets as soon as you drive off the lot. But the price of some cars is actually rising at a rapid rate. Tonight, Mark Gibson takes a look at Aussie muscle cars with tips for turning the pleasure machines into money-making machines.
Anyone with $300,000 can go and buy a Ferrari. It takes a certain sort of man to pull off a muscle car.
I suppose I enjoy the way it drives, the way it sounds with the V8 under the bonnet.
Looking at Rob Zandvliet's 1970 HT Monaro, you'd never know it used to look like this. A rusty old chicken coop on a New South Wales farm, Rob picked it up for $1,700.
The main part of the car was there, the body, the doors, boot, some interior parts and things. So I snapped it up, got it transported across here and then started to repair it.
2 years later, it was an award-winning work of art. Now it's worth around 60 grand.
I wouldn't sell it for, probably under 100,000, but that doesn't mean it's worth that. I wouldn't want to get rid of it. I'd need that so that I could build another one if I wanted to.
So what is it that you love about the Monaro?
Yeah, that's a good question. I suppose the sporty look of them, particularly the HT I like with the stripes. I've been into Holdens all my life, so it was never going to be anything else.
Muscle cars were built from the mid-1960s to the mid-70s. The Aussie Big Three are Holdens, Fords and Valiants.
They look fantastic and they make you feel fantastic when you drive them.
Muscle car enthusiast Ben Prescott.
I took that Charger out for a drive up the freeway on Sunday night and I got out of it at about 10:30 at night. I felt exhilarated. My pulse was racing. I felt alive.
Ben bought this 1968 HK Monaro for $15,000 7 years ago. After doing nothing to it, it's now worth $40,000.
For whatever reason, Australian muscle cars particularly seem to have gone crazy in the last 10 years.
Ben reckons cars can be safer than houses if you do your homework. His tips: do your research, read car magazines and websites, stick to your budget, leave the iconic models to the serious collectors. Make sure there are practical benefits. It's no good buying something you'll never drive. And look for a car that's in good nick.
I think the biggest thing to keep an eye on is the body. If the body is in good condition, then you're probably pretty safe. It's easy to improve the engines or the trim. It's very hard to find a panel beater who'll put in the time and effort to fix up a rusty car. Unless,
of course, you do it yourself, like Rob.
So if you're going to spend your money on restoring it, pick a model that's worth restoring. Don't pick something that isn't interesting or no one wants.
Rob reckons there's nothing quite like cruising down the freeway in a muscle car.
You get a lot of looks from a lot of people, you get cars driving next to you taking photos, people driving past with their thumbs up.
So really you're just a big poser, aren't you?
Yeah, I suppose, you do it for that, but you do it for the enjoyment of driving.
The experts say there are plenty of good buys.
There are still bargains you can get for sort of 10 to 15 grand that will make you money.
If you want a Holden, look for an LC or LJ Tirana.
If you can find a two-door for less than $20,000, you should buy it. If you can't, then a four-door, a good one, will be sort of $10,000 to $12,000.
If you're a Ford fan, you can pick up a ZA through ZD Fairlane for about 15 grand.
There are still ones that were bought by well-to-do gents, straight off the dealer showroom that are now being sold, 1 and 2 owners. That'd be great cars to pick up.
And for Valiants, Ben recommends a VF or VG two-door coupe.
They have fantastic road presence, they're very hard to miss, a good one of those, you can get one for $15,000 again.
Once you've snapped up your snazzy new wheels, the sky's the limit.
A car that's got the original motor, gearbox and diff, and if it's in very good nick, it's probably worth, well in excess of $100,000. So, for a car that was only around the $5,000 when it was new, it's not a bad deal.
And I'm not lying when I say that you can pull up to a Ferrari and people walking by will look at your car over the Ferrari.
For more on making money with muscle cars, check out the Epicurean section in Monday's West Australian.